Heard a lot of great things about Bob. Let me tell you two things that I didn't like about him. He was a Yankee fan and a UK fan. I was a Yankee fan in the early 60s. Loved Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, all those guys, Roger Maris, Clayton Boyer. I knew them all. George Steinbrenner brought them out, and I didn't like them anyway. But Bob loved the Yankees, and I spent a lot of time over at their home, Martha and Bob's home. I didn't have the privilege of knowing your mother, but I knew how much he loved her, how much he adored her. But I did spend a lot of time in their home. Bob did like to eat, but he liked to eat on time. I mean, his stomach just, it was like an alarm clock. Certain time it was time to eat. And if I was there visiting, it didn't matter. Martha had to have the food on the table so he could eat. He would talk to me, but he had to eat. And that's the way things were. I came here in 1994. And as any young minister, well, I wasn't so young, but as any minister going into a church, a new church, there's always a question of who he is and what he is. And is he right for us? And all the questions that you ask when you hire a new minister. Bob and Martha were there for me and Becky from the beginning. Good chances we would have never been here if it hadn't been for those two.
That's right.
They loved us. They welcomed us. They prayed for us. Bob and I served on a lot of committees together. Now, I wasn't pastor. I was associate pastor. Matter of fact, I came as youth minister. And David, I agree. I did some things when I was youth minister. Man alive. You know, we actually took shotguns on hay rides. I mean, I'm lucky to still be alive, I guess. But I came as youth minister, and then our pastor resigned. I kind of became a church administrator, and associate pastor, and head cook for Wednesday nights. It just, you know, you did whatever you had to do. And but I worked with Bob closely and Martha on a lot of different things. We were without a pastor for several years, and Bob was head of the committee to find a new pastor. He was also chairman of our deacons, and we spent a lot of hours praying, talking, and seeking God's will for the leadership of this church, dealing with whatever problems may arise. Bob was a godly man. I want to read a verse of scripture to you, and I say this because this is the gospel truth. I very seldom ever use this passage of scripture because I think it's very few people you can say it about. Genesis chapter 5, verse 24 says this: Enoch walked faithfully with God, and he was no more because God took him away. Bob Brewer walked 100 years faithfully with God. That's a long time. Can you imagine what he lived through in his life? 1916. Now, I'm not a great historian, but I don't think World War I was over, right?
We weren't even in it yet.
Huh?
We weren't in it yet.
Yeah. So say he lived through 2 world wars, served in one. He was able to go from literally horse and buggy to whatever we have today. He went from maybe not a quill and a pen, but an ink and a quill. But you know, he went from writing to modern technology. No communication, basically, to what we have today. Can you imagine what he has lived through in 100 years, witnessed? Amazing. Bob was a good man. But you know, path to hell is paved with good men. Honest men, good men, but men who don't serve the Lord. Bob knew God, and he served God, and he loved God. His life was being faithful. He was faithful to Sunday school. He was faithful to worship. He was faithful to Wednesday night prayer meetings. He was faithful to anything the church did. If the youth did a program or had a fundraiser, Bob was here. He loved his church. He loved his family. When I first came here, we had a softball team. Luke played on the softball team. I think Laura did too. Bob was at our softball games. He was at all of his grandkids' festivities, whatever they may be. Athletic events or educational events or social events. Bob wanted to be a part. We have so many people who come to church today who sit in the pew and don't do anything. They come, they listen, they go home, and they say, "We went to worship." Did you? Bob didn't just go, he participated. He tithed. He supported the church with his prayers. He loved this church. It saddened his heart when we went through hard times, and it gladdened his heart when things were going well.